I've been getting messages and downloads the last few days that have just been really unbelievable. So I woke up this morning, and or was it yesterday morning? Don't really remember. But I woke up, and I got this. I heard a voice, which I often do upon awakening. I get messages, and the voice made a reference to finding our voices. And I feel like a lot of this energy, a lot of us are actually finding our voice, finding a different way to do things. And this, all I heard was a sentence when I woke up, and it said, don't find your voice to suit their frequency. And immediately when I got the message, I knew it was very profound and that it had something to do with all of us having a different voice and getting a different message. And I went to write, as I often do, the way that I, upon awakening in the morning with dreams and such as I write, and things just seem to come. It's almost like an automatic type of writing from my guides. That's how I interpret things. So I started to write, and what came out in the writing was that this time, this energy, the eclipses, where the planets are aligned right now, and just the energy in general that we're getting from whatever is our conduit. Some people talk about galactic energy and Palladians and crystal light energy, and other people talk about, hearing from specific guides or angels. Some people speak directly to spirit. Whatever the conduit, whatever the highway is, it's all the same messages. I'm reading things on Facebook and I'm seeing things in the media, and it seems like everyone who's connected is getting pretty much the same message, just from a different source. And as I started to write regarding this particular message that I got, it became really clear to me that a lot of these awakenings are about truth. And I know that sounds really simplified, but I want to go in a little bit deeper about truth, because truth is really where we find our knowingness. And there's a certain thing that happens during the awakening process for any of you who are really on the spiritual road, or even on the road to just really knowing who you are and what you're made of and what makes you tick and what are the things in life you really value. There's something that happens along the journey that we get to a particular point. In the beginning we doubt. We keep asking for signs, and we get a sign, and then we ask for another sign, right? Oh, that one wasn't good enough. And we go into this doubt, and we have duality, and we have a point, hi Gina, and we have a point to which we are never sure of what's happening is real. What are my real feelings? What am I really seeing here? What is the message? What are the signs? And then there's a place in the journey where we come to where we're just in knowingness, and we understand the sign, and we feel it within. We feel it in our emotional body, and we feel it in our soul, and that's truth. Truth is different for each one of us. We all have our own truth. We all have our truth based on our DNA, based on our emotional bodies, based on our soul. We have a different alignment to what is true and what is truth for us. So from that one sentence that I woke up and heard, don't find your voice to suit their volume, I interpreted that through my writing until it kind of like morphed into truth and frequency, and it morphed into don't set your truth to their frequency. So I have Bonnie and Julie and Gina and Denise all listening right now, and truth for each one of us is something different, because we're all different. We all have different DNA. We're all created in a different uniqueness. So the message that I felt I really received yesterday morning was one of which, stay on your path for all of us, live in the uniqueness that is us, and drop the duality. Drop the right, wrong, yes, no, black, white. Drop it. Drop all the judgment that we're giving to ourselves in this energy. We're all coming on a time of awakening. We're all coming on a time where we're breaking traditions. And what are traditions? Traditions are the sum of mankind's solutions for survival. That is what tradition is. We all have traditions. We have family traditions. We have traditions. We have our own life. We have rituals. They're all based on something that we put together, some form of energy that we put on for survival. And this energy is challenging us to make new traditions. It's breaking apart our old traditions, our old rituals, our old perceptions, our old beliefs. And what is emerging from that is the truth, which is different for every single one of us. And that's why the path of the truth, the path of the awakening, is going to be different from every single one of us. One of us might tap into galactic energy and hear the Pleiadians, or one of us might have angelic energy, or one of us might have a certain guide that comes in. Whatever the highway is, whatever the conduit, whatever the frequency is, it's going to give you your personal truth. And that's what this is about. And that's what this new awakening, this new dawn, this new shift. And even people, I was talking to my boyfriend the other day, and he's not particularly, a meditator or someone who's really into new age energy, but he's open. And he said to me, he said, I don't know what's going on. I can't put my finger on it, but it feels like something's different in the world. Something's shifting. Everybody's feeling that. We're coming in as a species, as humankind, to a new awakening of how we really want to live our lives and how we value things and what we value. So I just wanted, before I go into some of the astrology of tonight and the eclipse energy, I wanted to just generalize and say that that's the energy right now, and that's what we're getting. And so as I got that download and I started to interpret it and do my automatic writing, what it came to be for me was everyone's truth is different, and that's our volume. And sometimes that volume is going to be powerful, and sometimes it's going to be weak. And by the same token, that volume that is us, that we put out, what is our volume? What is our frequency? By the same token, all of us have a different volume of what our vessel can hold, what our emotional body can hold, right? So let's step into that awareness in ourselves. What is your volume? What can you hold emotionally? And what do you put out as your volume, right? And then take that beautiful compassion that you give yourself in this process of awakening, finding your volume, finding your voice, finding your frequency. And now give that same compassion to everyone in the world who's trying to find their volume and their voice and their frequency, with the empathy that it's not going to be identical to yours. It's not going to be, yours is not going to be identical to them. And mine isn't going to be identical to Gina's and Julie's and Maria's and Denise's. We are all divine, unique creatures, but we're all unified in that fact that we're different. So if you can kind of really contemplate on that in the next few days, I think that's going to really help you understand what this energy is about and why is it coming in so intensely. And the intensity is going to build up again in the next few days because of some planetary things that are going on that I'm going to talk about. But for those of you who just tuned in, when you're done, try and go back and watch the beginning of the video, because it's really going to come together for you. So that is knowingness. When you come into that awakening and you find your volume, how much can your vessel hold? How much is your emotional body really capable of being and doing and understanding? And what is the volume that you're going to put out in your voice? What is your specific DNA, your specific soul print telling you your purpose is? That is knowing. And that is knowing of the truth of who you are and where you fit into the rest of the world. And what happens when you reach the stage of knowing, you don't push against life so much. And I'm just going to read you a passage from the automatic writing I did yesterday morning. And sometimes I can't read my own writing, so bear with me. But it says, this is about truth and knowingness and awakening and coming to that point where you really are understanding your own truth. Truth has become those things I mentioned before, my true value, the things I hold dear. And what I did was I thought to myself, when I'm at my regular job, right, I work in a regular job 8 hours a day, and I actually have this beautiful office, but it has no windows, and I'm kind of trapped in a very restrictive environment, which is not me. It's not really who I should be, but I have some things to wrap up there. And so I was thinking the other day about when I'm in that restrictive place, what are my hopes, dreams, and wishes? What am I fantasizing about? And it's not riding in a convertible. It's not, going to the top of a mountain in Peru, although those things would be lovely, and I'd love to do them. I want to spend time writing. I want to go home and meditate. I want to study my astrology. I want to spend time with certain people, certain friends who are dear to me, and I think of them. That's how I know what I truly value. In those moments when we're feeling restrictive, if we can bust out and actually have something that we desire so deeply, what are those values? That's your truth. What you truly value is your truth. So truth has become the things I mentioned before, my true value. It is something only I can give me. Only I know what is true by the way it measures inside when pressed against me. Strangely, those are the only truths that matter. The ones I create for myself, the ones my soul has a need of, built into my DNA, like my writing. And the other things that are unique to me, all my truths, the ones that matter, are created from those seeds. Because of this, I feel none or little need to resist, argue, or push against life. The only truth worth fighting for is mine alone, and I have what I need to know. If others' truths are not mine or go against mine, it matters not. It can't touch or mold my truth. I think maybe everyone's truth is different, and maybe that's our volume, the frequency of us. That seems to make sense. So just take those words and kind of contemplate on them a little bit, because I really believe those were given to me from Spirit. And it's a beautiful feeling when you've come full circle. And of course, I have a lot more growing to do. I have a lot more trials and challenges to do. I'm in some right now. But they're easier when you know your truth and you're in the knowing of that. And then when you press certain things against you and you feel them on your soul, you know if they're real or not. You know, is this really where I need to be? Is this really where I need to speak? Is this really what I need to do? And in the knowingness of that, you live your highest life and you live your highest purpose. And that's what we strive to be. So I know that was really deep, and I'm sorry, but that's what came out.